After the drop, there always has to be this process where the deliveries are given to those who have been successful. Sometimes this process is slower than others, and this actually has an effect on the market, the prices of the collectibles, and how they actually move forward after the deliveries have happened. And today, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. So let's get started. Welcome in everyone, my name is Andy and I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come and watch this video on the channel. Just before we get going, if you are enjoying the content and you want to support me further, you can hit that subscribe button down below. And if you'd like to support me even further than that, you can join the membership. It's been an absolute crazy week, not only for my personal life, but for Veve and everything that's continuously going on. And we got the Disney drop yesterday, which was again amazing. I didn't manage to get anything just like usual, but I saw some YouTubers who were managed to pick up the secret rare. Some of my mates got them as well. So it has been great to see that they're able to make some profit or keep something that they really hold dear to them for the long run. So with my Inside the Vault video, I was near to some of them, but a little bit off with the others. And especially in the beginning, I was very off. There's a particular reason why not only I was a little underestimating just what they could really do as Disney, but there's also another bigger reason for this. And this is due to the deliveries. Now, how the system works right now is that when you get the drop, there has to be all of the additions that are given delivered to the people who were successful in the drop for the specific mint that they'd got, meaning that there's a delivery period of time before you actually get them. Maybe over the next half an hour to about 2 hours does everyone get the drops, and yesterday it definitely was the latter, with people getting drops even after the 2 hour mark because all of the additions weren't given. Now, due to this, the market often opens about half an hour after the drop has happened, meaning that even if only 10% of the drops have actually been given out to the people who have got them, the market still opens up for those people. Meaning if you haven't got it delivered yet, you can't sell it on the market, but the people who have got it delivered can at that period of time. Due to this being the case, people therefore have a smaller percentage of those who are flippers and holders who actually have the drop at that period of time. If we look at yesterday, for example, once the market had opened, there were only around 2,000 editions of the commons actually given out to the people who were successful, meaning there were still around 11,000 still to be delivered just on the commons alone. It doesn't take into account the rares, the secret rares, or the ultra rares, or anything like that. This was only the commons. There was only 2,000 delivered after the market was open. So if this is the case, it means there's only a finite percentage of instant flippers and instant holders who are going to be keeping these collectibles or selling them off right away. Now, when this happens, people who want to sell them off are going to still put them at a decent price that they believe it's going to be at. And people who are going to keep are just going to keep, but we're not really focused on those right now. With the flippers in this situation, as they are flipping, there's a lot more buyers than people may think, meaning that when they put them up for that price, say the sell wall was at 500 instantly, that is being bought quite quickly because there's not a higher percentage of flippers who are actually getting their drop successfully delivered to them. Because only 10% or 20% of the supply is delivered at that period of time, when the flippers are selling off, they're quickly being swept up because it's Disney, because it's so significant, and because people actually want it, meaning the sell walls don't really exist because not many editions have been given out. That means the floor price stays relatively high because as deliveries are coming in and flippers are selling out, buyers are still buying in at the same rate they were buying in before. No matter if all the editions were given out or none were given out, people are still buying in the way they want to buy in. There's FOMO into it. It's Disney. It's quite a significant drop, and it's something that we've not seen before, meaning the sell walls don't really exist in the beginning, and people are keeping this price as high as it possibly can be because there's a lot more buyers than the percentage of people who have been delivered that are classed as flippers. Now, I hope that made sense, as I know it can be quite confusing. I'm basically trying to put it out there that because so low editions were actually delivered, there's less flippers than buyers. Marketplace stays a lot higher than it often would if more deliveries were given in that period of time before the market opened. As more get delivered, the pattern continues to happen. So if another 20% is delivered in the next 20 minutes, the flippers of those people who were delivered get out, but the buyers are already waiting because they see the price is still quite high. They're waiting for a little drop in the price. They then buy in. So you really need to start paying attention to the number of editions that are actually delivered when this is the case. You'll be able to find how many editions are actually given out so far if you go onto the collectible and see the number of editions that they have within the store. That'll give you an insight to how many have actually been delivered at that time and maybe where to make your best decisions. On the other front, when more things are delivered by the time the market opens, say 60% and up, this creates a bigger sell wall and a lower initial price. So I would say, for example, if Mickey was 500 gems when he was released and only 10% was being released very slowly as the market continued to roll out, if we had 30 or 40%, Mickey's price would more likely be lower in the beginning and then quickly rise after that as the continuation of buyers come in. But because his price started high and continued to rise and people bought in and then only 10% got in, that's why his price remained at that solid level higher up, because there was still that continuous amount of buyers, but a slower delivery period time of these collectibles. Another example we can give of when things were actually higher and there was more percentage given out is the Mermicorno drop. So you can see it on the screen right here. At this point, this was when no listings could really be on the market. There were 6 total listings for the lily pad. And the market had a little bit of an issue. So by the time the market did open back up for everyone again, everyone could sell. Everyone could put on the market. So basically 100% of people had their deliveries. And that means the most number of flippers are actually active at that point to be able to sell in the market. And the most number of buyers are also going to be there as well. But because Mermicorno isn't as popular as Disney, there's not going to be as much. Meaning the market value of this is more likely going to stay lower in the beginning before rising up due to this factor. We can actually see this be the case right after, as we saw it went down directly to 40 gems, 38 gems, 35 gems, 34 gems, 34 before it started to take a little bit of an incline for what it was. But when things like this happen, especially for drops that are not as sought after as others, they do tend to take quite a dip a lot quicker than some other things will, especially in the less popular side. If we do have a look at yesterday, and we only have a little bit of data to run off here, but we can try our best, and because it's every hour as well, we don't have like very small increments on how to actually determine what the price was doing. But from what I'd saw anyway, at the start, as we saw, there weren't many that were delivered, meaning the price of these were a lot higher because there were still buyers getting in. Most people were holding, and the flippers who were getting out were only a small percentage. So as those got out quickly, people got in quickly because it was Disney and it was something that they really wanted. Therefore, prices were really high. Donald was sitting at about 720 at 5 o'clock. After that, more deliveries started to happen, and therefore he went down to 529 at 6 o'clock. This is as more deliveries come in and more people can get it. But again, because it's Disney, because it's popular, people are still buying into what these are, and therefore by the next hour he took a run up to 700 again. And there was actually a point where Donald reached about 900 gems, as my friend was able to buy one in at 600 and sell at 900 to then buy back in afterwards due to this price fluctuation. More people are buying in, but they're not realizing that all the additions aren't actually there yet and are just buying in either because of FOMO or because of how significant Disney actually is. And here, as we got later on to the night, more people got their additions and basically everyone had them by this point. And this right here is really where I classify the sort of foundational floor level that we get before the buyers start to truly buy in, that are going to be buying and holding for the long run. And this is where we see the consistent sort of run up to about 740. It took a little bit of a retraction, but again, we're seeing that consistent run up. As more buyers are buying in, they're holding, and they don't really care about the price happening. There's going to be fluctuations, I know that. There's going to be organic dips and organic rises, but now we've actually gathered that first foundational floor, and we're starting to find that the listings will most likely be going down. Yes, the listings have already went down from 500 to about 450 the last maybe 6 hours or so, and this is what's leading us to where we're at right now. So what can you take from all of this, and how can you maybe take advantage of the market in these periods of time, or understand the market more for the collectibles that you have? Well, if you're someone who sees that you get your delivery right away in the beginning and prices are extremely high, you might actually have the best opportunity to sell then to buy back in a little bit later for cheaper prices. This can happen for more likely the less rarer things. When it comes to things like the secret rares, they have a little bit of a different twist on them, and they sort of have a mind of their own where their prices can really rise significantly. I was way off in my goofy estimation, and again, I think that start price was just purely due to how little we're actually giving out in the very beginning. It's not to say that it wouldn't be higher than what I'd actually guessed, but I definitely think it would be lower than what it is now if more additions were actually released. Because people were buying into the first secret rare of Disney, his price stayed high and has continued to rise. but this is where you can actually take note of maybe the common and the uncommon, where you could maybe sell right away, get some great profit, and then buy back in when organic and healthy retractions happen after more additions are actually delivered. If you're also at a point where basically all deliveries are given out as the market opens, it might be best to wait on all the flippers getting out, allowing people to buy in, and wait a couple weeks or a couple days before you're actually selling. Is usually a foundational floor is found, and we see the buyers buying in, listings start to decrease. This is maybe your better time to sell if you are looking to make some profit, rather than when every single flipper is trying to get out as soon as they can with these drops. For me personally, I didn't have the gems yesterday to buy anything, but I definitely would have if I had the opportunity to. I'm hoping to see some organic dips over the next few days, but because it's Disney, we just don't know what it is going to be. People slept on the golden moments for quite a while, and I'm guessing we've learned our lesson from that, and people are not going to sleep on a next opportunity to get their hold on Disney stuff that we're getting right now. But what's your thoughts on the delivery system and how it's going? Do you think it needs to be improved so that everyone gets their delivery before the market's there, or are you happy with where it's going? I'd love for you to let me know down below. I know the video on the screen right now will be something you'll love to watch. Have a fantastic day.